Time to go to part two of this first session. So the part two is going to be an interview. We have two fantastic people that have joined. The first one is Camille François, who will just give an interview of Mirko Ceselkoski, internet marketing consultant and, in quotation mark, fake news strategist from the Republic of North Macedonia. The idea was we're gonna reflect a bit on how simple it is to profit from disinformation. I think Nandini showed a bit of the system that can help to design these things. But we also have Camille and Mirko who will talk about this. So Camille is already here. Camille, I will ask you to go on stage virtually, which means can you put your microphone and your video?
Is that the stage? Am I on the stage?
You're on stage. Hello, Camille. It's good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Also from very early in the East Coast.
It's 9.
It's 9. It's okay. Thank you so much for being here. You're you already have some habits in the DisinfoLab conference. You were here last year. So for the people who don't know Camille, Camille François works on cyber conflict. We have a bit of echo here. So Camille François works on cyber conflict and digital rights online. Anna, can you mute yourself, please? So Camille François works on cyber conflict and digital rights online. She currently serves as a Chief Innovation Officer at Graphika, when she leads the company's work to detect and mitigate disinformation, media manipulation, and harassment in partnership with major technology platforms, human rights groups, and universities around the world. I'm going to ask if we can put Mirko back as a panelist. The team is working on this right now. Meanwhile, I'm going to introduce Mirko. Mirko is an internet marketing consultant and strategist based in North Macedonia. Perhaps best known for his role in operating websites that promoted quotation mark fake news to influence the 2016 US presidential election 4 years ago. I'm sure everybody heard about this. Mirko had made first steps in internet marketing at age 16 and sold his first website about the NBA at 17. He studied computer science in Skopje, North Macedonia, at the University of Kirill and Methodius. Among his many online courses and business projects, in 2017 he created an online marketing program. And Mirko has said that, I quote, "I see the world as one connected global town because you can reach any business and individual in a matter of seconds with a simple email message, phone call, or a completely free Facebook message." So it has been also a very useful tactics. Mirko, you're on the panel now. I will ask you to unmute yourself and to put your camera on.
Yes, can you hear me, please?
We hear you very well. Hello, Mirko.
Hello, and good afternoon to the European audience, and good morning to the United States audience. Of course, it's late afternoon in Asia. So it's my pleasure and honor to be here on this conference and to clear up some things and hope to answer some interesting questions from other side, maybe.
Exactly. Thank you, Mirko. I'm going to leave the floor to Camille, who have prepared a lot of questions for you, and we have something like 15 minutes, even 25 minutes for this panel. Camille, I'll leave you the floor.
Wow. Okay. Let's get into this, Mirko. We have a short amount of time that's to cover. So, Mirko, I looked a little bit into your website, your bio, your LinkedIn, and as many people noted, you like to self-define as the man who helped Donald Trump win the election. It's on your business card, it's on your LinkedIn, it's on your website. I'm sure there's this on a shirt somewhere at home. If you take us back to basics, can you help us understand what it is that you did that warrants this title of the creator of the fake news industry? I looked into multiple stories that credit you with really having structured this fake news industry in Macedonia. I wasn't really surprised, but then I was a bit more surprised when I read an academic paper that said that they have investigated this claim and they did confirm your pivotal role in structuring this industry. Explain to me, like I'm 5-year-old, what does it actually mean to have structured the fake news industry in Macedonia?
Thank you. Thank you for the question. So let me start from the beginning. I'll try to be short and concise. So the term, the man who accidentally helped the president get elected in 2016, it was at first it was circulating here in my team. We were joking about that, but later on, I thought that it's actually appropriate to be used as USP for our company, for me actually, for my personal branding here, because I'm sure you know that maybe you're familiar with that. We are having a bunch of online courses for making money online with very different tactics. And in 4 different languages. So I have always searched different topics, browse different topics on with an intent to present to my students to write about. And those topics should be connected to US audience. And because US audience brings the most revenue. When you have US audience on your website, it brings you the most revenue. So we were always searching for different topics, trends, whatever is most interesting for US audience in general. And as you know, we found out that US people are very similar to all the people in the world, as here in Macedonia also. So they are interested in sports, celebrities, and politics especially. And we tried to exploit this topic. We tried to write some articles, build some Facebook pages and websites, create some videos, and we were stunned because this topic was going viral so easy. Because, you know, everyone has a different opinion on every video, and Facebook works like that. When you have some engagement, comments, like shares under the story, whatever is, whether it's a video or a Facebook post or just an article, whenever someone comments, like, shares, the story spreads further. So it was so easy to get the stories viral. Actually, we were not at the start. We were not doing anything fake. We were just. So please continue.
No, I'm just trying to make sure I follow you. Are you suggesting, Mirko, that U.S. audiences is where the money was, and Donald Trump is where the clicks were, and this is why you designed these classes to the young folks who came, you know, your students as you call them, and is that fair?
Yes. So
and then talk to us a little bit, Mirko, about like those classes. What did you teach to the students, right? Is it just how to create a Facebook page? Like, what is it that you created with your students at that time?
It's the technical things are, of course, taught first, but then later on, it's how to make the most of the story. So you choose you first create 10 different titles, 10 different variations of the title. Then you create some eye-grabbing thumbnail and try to get the most attention you can from that story. So then you discuss the titles, choose the best along with the best thumbnail, and then you promote that article with the good story to the pro-Trump audience. So that was the formula actually. And these guys, of course, they want to share the good news to their friends, relatives, whatever, all the crowd. But when we try politics, we saw 10 times more engagement for the same amount of effort, and it was great actually. It was for the same amount of money, of promotion, and everything. And back in the day, before the elections, 2016 elections, there were many different free groups on Facebook that were pro-Trump, and we tried to post the first articles whenever someone was starting. They posted there. They tried to link to their Facebook page and grow some people from there. Get some people transferred to their Facebook pages, and then also some paid ads getting likes and fans. And but it was the period where it was a very hot topic, so Facebook pages were growing like crazy. I think maybe 1 to 2 cents per fan, and it enabled my students with a small budget to grow the Facebook pages. And of course, I want to clear this. We tested both presidential candidates, and we witnessed that the Trump's audience, the President Donald Trump's audience, was much more engaging, much more willing to spread the good news about him, more fanatically following him, and that's why we choose to continue to write at first just rewriting news from major news outlets, but later on we tried modifying, and that the rest is history. Modifying a little bit, pumping up the title, changing the image, and then later on. But about the percentage of fake news, I think it was 10 to 15% of the news published on our websites were fake. So, but some of them got pretty viral, and that's basically that's why I call it accidentally, the man who accidentally helped the President Donald Trump. I'm sure he had a big following even then, but we tried. His following, his crowd was much more willing to engage in the content and share, and thus we got much more traffic and revenue, and that's why we chose to basically do some free advertising for him.
Mirko, let's talk a little bit about this term fake news. I don't particularly like this term. I think people sort of, put a lot of different definitions under this, but talk to me about when you were doing it, when you started doing it, how are you calling this? And when did this become like a digital marketing exercise and suddenly everybody is sort of thinking about it differently?
I think that the term fake news appeared, maybe it got in the center of attention during the elections, maybe after that, or a little bit before that. But mainly it got so much attention because it was connected to politics, and the US politics affects the whole world basically. So that's why the US elections are so important for all of us. And that's basically, so there is a fine line between what's true, what's false. So it's hard to judge for every article. It's hard to distinguish between the complete true and what's completely true, what's completely false. So, I mean, I don't know. I think the fake news are here to stay, no matter what kind of censorship, what kind of fact checkers we employ, and everything. And I would talk about that a little bit later if we have time. But I think that
let's talk about that.
Yeah,
let's talk about that, and let's talk about what your students are doing now, right? So you taught them to create groups in which they pretend to be American citizens engaging with the election. They did that in 2016. They made quite a bit of money doing that in 2016. What are they doing in 2020? Are they also creating Trump groups and Biden groups run from Macedonia? What does it look like right now?
Right now, my students are engaged in big projects. I think nothing connected to politics because it's much more safe. It's much more easy because the same tactics we were using, except fake news, they're completely legitimate strategy. So any brand, any business, any celebrity, any musician, film industry, we're using this. We're working with some Hollywood producers, music stars, upcoming music stars, rap and hip hop stars, of course. And the same approach is very legit, very legal and ethical, without fake news, and it works great. So the same strategy for what we used in the political campaign, unofficial political campaign. We were not connected to anyone, not to the president, of course, not to anyone from his team. That's why I accidentally helped him. Maybe he would have won even without our help. So this top of the guys that were actually employing at some points of time, they were employing US students. They're using the knowledge and the money from that project to grow their businesses and build their teams and work internationally. Everything is online now. Online sales are basically everything. Every business cries, and this corona stuff and this health crisis has forced any business to go online and ask for an internet marketing consultant and people that can think outside of the box. And of course, following all the rules of Facebook and other social media.
Mirko, I want to go back on this because I think you make the case that there is a fine line between digital marketing, will create and manage the page for your brand and engage your audience, and disinformation, right? I will create and manage a series of pages pretending to be citizens of the country and aiming to engage in this political debate, notably for monetary reason and or to manipulate the political conversation. And I think that I'm hearing you say you've stopped doing anything that has to do with the political side, and now you're squarely doing sort of more digital marketing. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yes. Yes, we are basically done with the fake news, especially anything connected with politics.
When you are done, right, after you've trained those students and after there's been so much ink spilled on how easy it is to create all these groups and how potentially lucrative it is, we have seen that in Macedonia, there continues to be people who are running pages that are political and impersonating citizens of different countries. I've worked on, for instance, veteran pages that were taken over from Macedonia, and then the original owners had a very hard time regaining access. Where is this activity coming from? Do you think it's, do you think that the political disinformation industry that you contributed to shaping is continuing and is doing well? How do you paint us a picture a bit of what's continuing to happen on the political disinformation front in Macedonia?
I don't have a control to anyone that was my student. So back in the day, there were many different people, friends and relatives of my students that also joined the game. So they were investing like $500 to $1,000 getting into the game, creating a 10,000 fans page with that budget, and started posting something that's completely fake, maybe, to get some earnings early on in the game. But right now, it's I think, yes, I believe there are some students also doing some fake news. Many of the students that were doing political websites in 2016, they have a large email list in millions. I personally know several guys that have millions and millions of email addresses that are still sending these articles to these guys on the list, and it's very profitable, like 2 or 3 emails per day, and they're profiting greatly from that email list, from the advertising on the website. Sorry?
Mirko, are you saying they're reusing the email list that this sort of that they've created in 2016, and that now they're reusing it in 2020 to also profit from sharing the same type of information?
Yes, they are reusing. They haven't stopped using the lists. Those guys that were on top of the game, that were actually using the list all the time, no stopping that. So these guys actually followers of the president. They love that stuff. they believe that they're reading us from a website that's inside the United States, that's based in the United States actually. So it's and when professional writers, professional journalists are working on this kind of website, it's hard to distinguish. It's hard to actually, and I think most of the best audience were older people, 40 plus, that were on that list, that were actually being targeted to people more willing to believe on everything that's prone to believe on everything that's being said on television, on internet, read on internet, all the different sources. So not so tech savvy and something like that. And about disinformation, I would gladly support and even promote cutting the funding and demonetization of platforms spreading fake news, something that's but it's there is as I said, there is a fine line between what's true, what's not, and who is the top authority that will decide which news is fake, what is fake, what's true. And certainly not fake news, fact checkers that are just hired to do the job. And I'm seeing a trend of fake news was one big problem, and I think it will continue to happen. Aside from Facebook and other social platforms and the search engines doing a very good job in stopping that. But right now I'm seeing a rise of censorship on YouTube, Facebook, Google, and all the social media platforms, censoring famous doctors, independent journalists, activists thinking differently. So that's my opinion. It's at one side it's getting better, and at another side it's getting much worse. So we have another problem to solve now. And people with authority, not talking about me and my students and someone just doing some blog and publishing it.
And so you mentioned in a few interviews that indeed, since 2016, the other thing that has changed is the platforms have tried to crack down on this type of activity. But you're also telling me that some of this is absolutely continuing to happen with the same characters that were there in 2016, that are essentially doing the same thing in 2020. Give us a little bit of sense of what are the things that the platforms did to tackle this problem that were effective? What are the things that you've seen that made a difference? And what are the things that they haven't done that would be effective? You mentioned some areas where you think there should be demonetization. Talk to us a little bit about those two facets, what they've done that has worked and what they haven't done that would work.
Actually, I think that many guys that did fake news about politics, they got their Facebook profiles disabled and Facebook pages deleted. That worked, of course, because they invested money in those Facebook pages. So and I had like 10 millions of Facebook fans of completely unrelated content deleted, and I couldn't get them back. And it was all about classic and muscle cars, US muscle cars. So it was not connected to anything political. And me personally, I have never wrote anything politically related. It was all I had a partnership in my students' website. So nothing on my name, nothing done by me personally. And that was part of the project. So I taught them. The guys were paying for the courses and my students, and I also had a few percentages of the revenue coming from their websites. But what can be done further? I think aside from disabling Facebook pages,
just one more second on this. So you're saying that when Facebook, for instance, removes those pages, it does have an impact because you lose the ability to reach that audience. You don't have a backup of who were these many followers. Then,
yes.
where do people go? Does that mean that they stop? Does that mean that they decide that they will move the US muscle cars in an email list? Does that mean they're going to another platform? Or do they just say, okay, that's you know, like, I give up, now I'm going to do something else? Like, what happens when you run a Facebook page and then it gets shut down? What do you do next?
Actually, it's I'm talking about politics, and this was an accident that's influenced me by getting this page deleted. And it's what do you do next? You build another Facebook page, you invest more, and you try to play by the rules. That's it, basically. Because no other platform is as good as Facebook and Instagram for any kind of promotion. And Google is also a good thing to match together with Google and YouTube, with Facebook and Instagram. So your best bet, and with their artificial intelligence that helps great in selling in all kinds of campaigns. You know, Facebook Pixel, maybe you have heard about it. It's a platform that's unmatched in terms of selling worldwide, whatever you're selling. And for politics is also very good. And they did also, the Facebook now requires everyone who is running political news campaigns, paid political news campaigns, they need to list on the top of each post to list what's the company paying for the posts. They put these ads in a special category, and it's very clear who is running those ads. So it's very transparent, and even for all the businesses doing the Facebook ads, you can see all their ads on Facebook and Instagram. That's how they have solved the problem. So it's a little bit maybe for the businesses that are inventive and clever and thinking outside of the box. Other businesses can go on and copy their ads, but the platform is fully transparent for anyone. So that's, I think there are some good steps done in that direction, but I think on the opposite side, there is too much censorship. I mean, real people with authority, with thinking a little bit differently. So that's a problem worldwide.
And last question, then I think we have to conclude. But when you say, if the page gets shut down, I'll open a new page and I'll try to play by the rules. What does it look like? What does it look like to do a political page? Where are the lines? Are they clear for you? Are they clear for you students? Does that mean that you can no longer run groups that are pretending to be based in the US that are focused on US politics? Does that mean that you can't use ads? Tell us a little bit about like what those new rules are for you.
You can't, from my country, you can basically you can't even create a Facebook page dedicated to politics. So that's how it's solved.
Okay.
And I believe it's very similar to other countries, especially in Europe. And then it's clear that you can't run ads without identifying yourself and have a company. Not everyone can do that. And also, it's I mean, by playing it safe, choose another topic and do some real business. I mean, not or.
That sounds like a good advice.
Sorry.
That sounds like a good advice.
Yeah, that's and when you use the same tactics we have here, it's you don't have to. You'll sleep much better when you wake up. You know that your ads are still standing, your profits and your sales are still going on. You don't have to worry about Facebook deleting your pages and everyone. So they have successfully solved the problem with political fake news. That's my opinion.
And so, Mirko, I know we need to wrap, but at the beginning of the interview, you said that you wanted to clear out a few things. One of the things that you wanted to highlight is the reason why you focused in 2016 on the Trump campaign was simply because they clicked more and they were more engaged than their opponent. What are the other things that you wanted to make sure we clear and we sort of get on the record for you as we wrap this interview?
Actually, I would encourage all the people that it's not still the competition is not so high. So when anyone can use Facebook, Instagram, and other platforms to promote their business, play by the rules also, and earn some good amount of money, especially with Facebook and the older crowd, and of course don't forget Instagram. So because Instagram is also owned by Facebook, and all the rules apply there also, and it's a wonderful platform. It's a wonderful platform, but I think that these platforms now need some competition, and we need some other platforms appearing without censorship, without. I'm not talking about fake news. Fake news is and in some other topics, fake news is not it's not a big deal, and except politics, because politics influences everyone. So we need some more competition from other companies developing social media platforms, and less censorship, of course. That's my opinion. Getting people with knowledge, with experience, with all kinds of academical success, getting their words out and not being deleted, censored, and everything. That's my opinion. That's what I'm seeing on YouTube, on Google, and everywhere else, on Facebook, Instagram also. So fake news is solved, but censorship is now the biggest problem.
Thank you so much, Mirko. Thank you, Camille. Very instructive discussion today. A few comments. I think we don't have time because we have to go to a break now to be sure that we can follow up. We're going to fix during the break the question of the chat. Some people have asked, have mentioned to us that they were not able to talk to each other. We're going to fix this. So we're going to be back in 10 minutes with session 2. Session 2 will be foreign influence campaigns. Camille will still be here with us, with her colleague Léa Ronzo, and our own researcher, DisinfoLab researcher Roman Adamczyk will also be here. We're going to explore the strategies and tools used by foreign actors to spread disinformation with the aim of polarizing other societies over societal and political issues. Thank you so much, Mirko. Thank you, Nandini, also. And we'll be back in 10 minutes after the break.